welcome to AFAC's number one stop to entertainment and trending news. Now, DCI had released a long statement, and that is murder in Mwangi palatial home. And a man who is a contractor by the name George Mwangi was murdered in his own bedroom. And somebody who was being suspected was his wife, and she is a Kiambu-based politician who unsuccessfully vied for the Kiambu women rep position in the last elections. Now, we are going to read the statement that was shared by the DCI, and I'm going to read for you guys. And they shared with the photos that you can see right now on your screen. From all their social media platforms, they wrote, murder in Mwangi palatial home. Had engineer George Mwangi, a Rwanda-based contractor, known that he would return home from holiday to be brutally murdered in his own bedroom by people close to him, then he would have most likely opted to remain in Kigali. But as fate would have it, the 58-year-old husband and father of three, who had returned home on September 13th, was killed in cold blood hours before his return flight, and his body dumped in Kieni Forest, Kiambu County. As detectives investigating the murder most foul have gathered, George Mwangi of Double M International, based in Kigali, Rwanda, was killed following a love affair involving him and his mistress, identified as Lucy Mudhoni, a secretary at a local school. The deceased wife, Gladys Chania, Kiambu-based politician who unsuccessfully vied for the Kiambu women rep position in the last election, has been identified as the main suspect behind the murder. Detectives based at the Crime Research and Intelligence Bureau and the Homicide Department, who are currently combing the scene of the murder, have recorded some of the murder weapons used to kill the Rwanda-based engineer, hidden in the master bedroom, the primary scene of the murder. Police have also recovered blood-soaked bed sheets, curtains, and clothes hidden in a locked room adjacent to the master bedroom. Forensic experts based at the Crime Scene Investigations Unit have also detected blood splatter patterns on the bedroom walls, wardrobe, and along the stairway, indicating that the father of three was killed in the house before his body was dumped kilometers away. George Mwangi was reported missing by his wife Gladys Chania on October 11, 2022 at 8 p.m. at Moya Police Post in Gatundu, North Kiambu County. They also did share the OB number, and they went ahead to share casual laborers working in tea plantations located in Kamunyaka discovered the deceased lifeless body that was wrapped in a polythene bag and covered under a heap of cartons on Wednesday, October 12th, before informing the area chief, who reported the discovery to authorities. In the second update that they shared, detectives have arrested politician Gladys Chania, who was unsuccessfully vied for the Kiambu women representative seat in the last general election, as the main suspect behind the death of her husband, engineer George Mwangi. Gladys is believed to have masterminded the murder of her husband following her discovery that the father of their three children was having an affair with another woman. In a two-part series pieced together by the DCI communications team, the deceased wife is suspected to have been assisted by a newly employed casual laborer and other accomplices in committing the cold-blooded murder. George Mwangi had arrived back into the country on September 13th from Rwanda, where he is a contractor and astute businessman with interest in real estate. The deceased had had three children with the main suspect, with whom they have had been married for over 20 years. However, according to multiple sources, their union seemed to have been undergoing turbulent times, since the woman would mostly spend her time at the Thika home, while Mwangi will stay at the splendid 5-bedroom Mwangi residence whenever he was in the country. Sometime last year, a woman identified as Lucy Mudhoni, who was looking for a rental house, met the deceased during one of his visits. He offered her one of his rental houses next to his house, and it is from this point that their relationship blossomed from that of a landlord and tenant to one similar to Romeo and Juliet. On the fateful day of the murder, Lucy had accompanied the deceased to a family function in Kimunyu, where the main suspect was also in attendance. According to some eyewitnesses, Lucy was on the driver's wheel of the deceased double cabin truck, registration number KBY 849M, and after the function, they headed back to Mwangi. Upon arrival, she parked the vehicle and left for her house while the deceased proceeded to his residence. The main suspect had arrived earlier and was in the house when the two arrived. That was the last time the deceased was seen alive until the discovery of his decomposing remains in Kieni Forest by suspicious casual laborers in Kiamunyeki tea farms. Lucy told detectives that they had agreed to go on a date the following day, but when he failed to call her at the agreed upon time, she called told two of his friends to call him on her behalf and inform him it's about time, but the friends were informed by the main suspect that the deceased had gone for a walk and left his phone behind. Lucy had refrained from calling the deceased when his wife was around after she allegedly gave her a thorough dress down on one occasion. According to the main suspect, Gladys Chania, the deceased left the house on Sunday at 10 a.m. on foot, leaving behind his mobile phone and never returned, prompting her to file a missing persons report at Moya Police Post on Tuesday, September 11th at 8 p.m. However, on the same day she made her report, eyewitnesses reported to have seen a woman driving the deceased vehicle towards Kiamunyaka Center, where the vehicle developed a flat tire and was fixed. According to a statement by the mechanic who fixed the tire, the woman asked for direction to Naivasha, and after she was directed, she took off. Another witness who works at a tea collection point in Kiamunyaka remembered seeing a fast-moving pickup truck being driven by a woman at around 3 p.m. with a load protruding at the back. She flagged the vehicle down and she asked the driver to slow down since her luggage seemed to be falling from the vehicle. But the vehicle sped towards Kenny Forest, where the body was discovered the following day, wrapped in a black polythene under a heap of cartons and empty bags of cement. It is after the body was dumped that the main suspect, through a phone call at around 8 p.m., made a missing persons report. The detectives investigating the gruesome murder also learned that the woman had hired a new employee identified as Maurice Kamau on the eve of the murder, after the previous one, John Mwangi, who had worked at the home for 4 years, allegedly failed to return home after he was sent to deposit some money on M-Pesa. His whereabouts still remain unknown. The newly hired employee, who is also a suspect in the murder, told detectives that on the day the deceased's body was discovered, he had been asked by the main suspect to assist her in carrying a heavy load that was destined for the airport to the back cabin of the truck. When detectives arrested Gladys Chania last evening, she was driving the late husband's pickup truck that was spotted headed towards Kenny Forest. Preliminary examination of the truck revealed blood stains on the floor of the cabin, manila ropes, and empty cement bags similar to those found covering the body at the scene. After conducting a thorough forensic documentation of the house today, detectives based at the Crime Research and Intelligence Bureau, Homicide Department, Forensic Crime Scene, and Photographic Units have concluded that George Mwangi was murdered in his bedroom at the top floor of his house before his body was dumped at Kenny Forest. Traces of blood-stained metal rods, blood-soaked bed sheets, stained curtains, and clothing were part of the exhibits that were recovered in the house by the sleuths based at the DCI National Forensic Laboratory. So far, 3 suspects connected to the murder are in custody, assisting detectives with investigations. Well, I'll follow this story for you guys, and in case of any updates by the DCI and if they come to a conclusion of their investigations, definitely I'll bring it right here. So make sure you have subscribed. Also turn on your post notifications so you're notified once new uploads are up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.